Hey everybody, Lady Sparkles here for yet another tutorial on the server Rainyday.gg. So I was sitting there the other day looking at my item sorter, wishing it could be a lot more compact. So I took to YouTube and did some research and I came across Silent Whisper's video. And thank you for the inspiration for this one, because I took their idea and I changed one thing on it to make it to where this item sorter is not only more compact, it does not use quartz. So for the new players that may not be able to afford quartz from the people that have unlocked it, this is definitely for you. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. So what you are going to want is a 5 by 8 area. And how you start this is you go to the corner of your 5 by 8 area and you put down a double chest. Now you are going to want to make a tower of 4 double chests. And then next to that you go up 2, so on the second double chest you put another double chest next to it. And you put the double chest 3 high. And you do another one next to that in the same place. So now your chest should look like so. You could put building blocks here, but I will wait to do that until after the build is complete. So now you go behind the chests, and what you're going to want to do is looking at the left side of the back of the double chests, you take your droppers and you look to the floor and you go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll have a tower of 4 droppers. And then you do that next to it. 2, 3, 4. And on this last one, since it's the end of the sorting system, you are not going to use droppers. Instead, you are going to use cobblestone or whatever building block you chose. And you go up on the left side still of the double chests. Now you can expand this, so you would just continue with the droppers going down and down and down, or you can even expand it up, and that's what's so great about this storage option. So now we are going to take our hoppers, and you go to the right side of each double chest, and you put the first 3 into the back of the chests, and then the 4th one you put into the dropper. So they will look like this. And you do that again on the next ones. So 3 going into the back of the chest, 1 going into the dropper. And then on this last one, because there is no dropper at the bottom, you just put all 4 into the double chests. So now it should look like this. So now what you're going to want to do is take your repeaters and put 1 behind each dropper and the bottom building block. And then behind that you put a redstone dust. And then you put a building block like so. You will have 4 building blocks, so it goes 1, 2, 3, empty space, 1. And you want to put a redstone dust on each of those building blocks. So now it will look like this. Okay, so the next part, you are going to want to go up to the second dropper from the bottom, and on the top of the dropper, the top half, you put 1 slab. The same thing with the building blocks on the end. And then behind that, you want to put a piece of glass. And on the right side of the glass, you put a building block. And then on each slab, you are going to want to put a repeater. And then on the glass and the building blocks, you want to put a redstone dust on each of them. So it should look like this. Okay, so now you take your slabs and you want to go to the top, either dropper or the top block. In the top half, you go 1, 2 on each of them of your slabs. And on the right side of the second slab, you want to put a building block. Now what we are going to do now is the same thing we did before. behind each dropper and the top building block, you put a repeater. And on each of the second slabs and the building block, you put a piece of redstone dust. So that is the main redstone complete. So now what we are going to do is build the clock for it. So what you want to do is go behind it and you look to your right, and you're going to want to go underneath this bottom building block on the end and put a repeater. And it should end up looking like this. And you're going to want to do 2 ticks. And then the next repeater, right to the left of it, you want to face, if you're looking at the back of your system, to the left. And you just put it right down there without touching it or changing the ticks. And then next to, on the right of the one that you put the 2 ticks on, you put a building block right there. And then you put a redstone torch. And if you did everything correctly, the bottom of your system should turn on. So now what you're going to want to do is grab your lever and go to the other side of the building block and put your lever, so that way you're able to turn your system on and off. Now you're probably sitting here wondering, well, how do we attach the bottom to the top? Well, let me show you really quick. So you take your last piece of glass and you go over to the first piece of glass right here, and you make sure that the redstone is highlighted, and you put the piece of glass right there. And then what you're going to do is put a redstone dust on top of it. And what you'll see is when you turn this system on, now the bottom and the top both turn on. So the last step you're going to want to do with this main system of redstone is take the rest, well, not the rest, but 6 more torches, and you put them on each of the building blocks, like so. And now, the last part that we have to do, yes, we are almost finished, so congratulations for getting this far, is we have to make the system for how the items get into this. So what you are going to want to do is take your last 2 droppers and put them with the smiley face facing you on the 2 hoppers to the left. And this hopper over here will be left alone for right now. And then your last hoppers, you put 1 into each of the droppers, facing into the right side of those top droppers. Then you're going to want to take your building blocks and go 1, 2, 3, and then you get rid of the first building block. So this hopper right here will be hopper, blank space, then 2 building blocks. And what you'll do with your last hopper is you'll take it, you'll want this hopper facing you, standing on this dropper, you put it into those 2 building blocks. So then those 2 hoppers are facing the different directions. So now the last part we have to set up is the way to turn on and off this hopper to let items into the system. So you'll go to the side of the redstone torch and place down your last 2 slabs, and then you go to the side of this redstone right here and place a building block. Now your last 2 repeaters you place facing these 2 blocks right here. You put 2 redstone dust on top of those 2 building blocks. And then the final piece of the puzzle, you put your redstone torch. Now if your 2 redstone and this repeater is lit up, you did it right. So now you're probably thinking, how do we get the things into the system? So what you'll do is on this hopper that's facing these building blocks, you put a double chest on top of there. And now I have the chest running up into my origin like so. You are going to want some buffer chests in between the two. So that way your system doesn't get backed up, because this is definitely not as fast as a comparator system, but it definitely works for what we need it for. So now what you're going to want to do is, like the other system, you put your items, 54 of them, or however you want to split them up, into each of your chests. I will do that really quick and then I will come right back. Okay, so now that I'm done doing that, and you can see I put an item in each one of these chests, now the system is officially done. So what we can do is we can go ahead and kind of grab some blocks just to be able to show you how it works. So you want to go back here, turn your system on, and we can go ahead and put them in. And as you can see, the items are going into the system and they are going into their chests. And there you have it, a compact version, fully expandable up and to the sides of an item sorter that does not require quartz. Thank you all so much for watching yet again, and I hope to see you for the next tutorial. I really hope you leave me a like and definitely subscribe, and I'll definitely see you next time. Bye!